We're all here and we're recording.
Okay, then call this meeting to order. We'll take I'm just see Susan, can you read the little thing about recording while I pull up the agenda? The little legal notice.
Yeah, let me also pull up the agenda.
Sorry, I can find it in a second too.
Do you want the hard copy, Susan? I think I have it right.
I got it. Okay.
Okay, you got it. Great. So I
Yeah.
can.
This meeting is being recorded by the Crossroads Cultural District Committee. If any other persons present are doing the same, you must notify the chairperson at this time. None being seen, well, I'll go ahead and do the roll call. Let me see. Caitlin, I'm here. Bella,
Here.
Michael,
Here.
Christy,
Here.
Tess,
Here.
and Sarah.
Here.
Okay. And did you say Hannah's here too? Yeah, and Hannah.
Here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, and we have a quorum, so yay. All right. So our business today is really discussion of the ideas that everybody sent in. Thank you for that, everybody. There are a lot of ideas here. So maybe the best thing to do would be, let's see, if we go around the room and we each talk about our idea, that could take a little while, but I guess that's the best thing to do. Does anyone want to go first and talk about the stuff that they sent in?
Susan, do you have hard copies or not?
I don't have hard copies now.
Yeah, I was wondering if
We can, if you guys want to, do you guys have it on your end, Caitlin and
I have a
Hannah?
hard copy, yeah.
Okay, if you guys want to like pass around my laptop, this is everything, so that way you can look at it.
Yeah, you could. Okay. Sure.
There you go.
Yeah, so I proposed one small-ish idea with the kind of the idea from last time of trying to use the funding for a mix of things. So I thought, well, I'll propose one smaller thing that would be a piece of that larger pie that hit towards the types of things I'd like to see, which is more public gathering using the downtown spaces. So I came up with an idea with like a working title, just sort of like Sunset on the Green. Like once it gets a little bit warmer, that space that's over in front of where Mesa Verde used to be at, is it a pocket park? Is that what it's technically called?
It's called the
Yes.
Fifth Avenue Pocket.
We call it the pocket park. The pocket park, okay. That we could use that space because I think that that's really underutilized and basically invite people to come and have a picnic. They bring their own food. They bring their own blankets, all of that, but we would set up some music with DJs from the local radio station. And then we could maybe have some sort of contributing event like a pie potluck. I suggested as one possible idea where everyone's encouraged to bring a pie. And so, you bring your own dinner, but then everyone can have some of the dessert. I thought we could invite the Plein Air Painting Club to come and paint the event, which I thought could be really fun. And then even maybe display the paintings around town or take pictures of them and use them for social media or things like that I thought could be really lovely. And then we could also have the Tumble Toy Station set up for kids who are at the event. They set up regularly at the farmers market and they have stuff housed near downtown in like a little shed, and they have a whole collection of toys that the kids can just kind of play with and things like that. This is pretty low cost. I think there's probably things I'm not thinking of, so I acknowledge that. But I thought of things that would be most of the cost would be things that would be reusable. So battery powered PA systems that could be used so we could host musical and auditory events around town without needing hard powered electrical systems. Michael has a few of those that he uses for his company and they're relatively reasonably priced. So I budgeted that in. I also thought we could get some solar outdoor string lights that could be lovely. Again, does not require any sort of electrical hookup, but would make that space at nighttime like a little more inviting. Yeah, so that is my idea. And I budgeted around like, I'd say around $2,000 is a very reasonable estimate for that, assuming I'm not thinking of, I don't know if there's permits or police or things that would be needed for that, but I don't think so.
Depending on.
I don't think, yeah, I don't think we would need permits and police. We would probably need to get the actual Fisk Avenue, which is kind of the driveway that goes to the Conti building, is
Mhm.
privately owned, so we would need to get permission to
Okay.
use that, because I think we would need more room than the pocket park, but
Mhm.
that's a kind of a nice low-key idea that I don't think would take a ton of work, because one of the concerns I have about suggested events is what we talked about last time is who does the work,
Right.
who actually puts this thing on, because they can be a lot of work.
Right. And I don't know if there's possibility to like close off that street that's right there that goes towards Energy Park for through traffic, just to allow for spillover. Because I think like I was imagining blankets and people actually eating and setting up on where the grass is. And then that street, if we could get it closed off, would have the tables for the people to put out pies. That's where people could be painting. That's where the toy station could be. That's where the DJs could be, that kind of thing. And then people just walk around.
Go ahead, Christy.
So I think that closing that street is going to be very challenging. We only close it for Pride because it's thousands of people. I like the idea, but I think that stuff should be up on the Fisk Ave, where Mesa is, and
Okay.
I forget the name of the new restaurant coming in there.
Los
Los Tres Hermanos.
Yeah, and they'll be all about being involved.
Uh-huh.
Power.
Yes.
So the problem is when they redid that wall, they didn't talk to me about power. And so there's no power there.
Yes.
So we would have to we got power before when we do events from Amy at Mesa, and I'm sure that they would be willing to have power. We just have to have the cord covered.
Okay.
And then is the place underground still operational?
No, is it?
Yeah, it's
No.
a garden.
So they've also played music for free for other events as well, just so you know.
Cool.
You're new in town?
I mean, 2 years.
2 years. Okay. There used to be an event called Sunday Sessions, which is this event right there.
Okay.
So it's been done.
Okay.
Yeah, and they did the Mesa Beach parties too. So there have been different events there.
Cool.
I agree with Christy, closing off the street. As soon as you get the police involved, that you've pretty much spent your budget. So,
Okay.
so I think we would probably want to try to do it without closing off the street. That being
Okay.
said, I do think this is like I said, a low lift, and I think Los Tres Hermanos so far, Christy, right, have been super excited about being involved in any kind of community activity. So I'm sure they would
Definitely,
be
they'll be really excited. And they
happy
open
to
in March.
help.
Yeah, so that's what I thought it could be kind of like in, yeah,
We can even
late spring.
give them $2,000 and ask them to organize it.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna be running a restaurant. I'm not sure if they're gonna want to take that on, but it does seem very low key. I really think it's cute to share the pie. I wish we could do it on Pie Day, but we'll probably still have snow.
Yeah, right.
I thought that, and I was like, it's probably not be warm enough.
And there actually there are Edison lights there now that go
Okay.
down Fisk Avenue. So that we could put some more up, but it's already, it can
But they're
already
not
be
in the
nice
grass area, right?
They're on the
They're
wall.
along the side. Yeah, I was trying to think of something that could maybe illuminate more of the
Yeah, no, that would be very cool.
grass area.
Don't forget that obviously it's getting lighter earlier,
Yes.
and then it'll stay longer in the evening,
Yeah.
so you might not
Right.
need to worry about lights.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Were you thinking of, yeah, because this does seem kind of like I don't know, a late afternoon event. Did you have a time in mind that you were thinking of?
I mean, I was kind of thinking like maybe it could be like kind of like a 5 to 9 situation, depending. So it's like people could picnic earlier, but then people who maybe just want to come later and hear the music. So you kind of have a transition from family to maybe not family. If you're in that park though, you can't do things like open container or anything like that,
No.
right?
No.
Yeah.
We could do it on the patio
Yeah.
So we could,
Mesa.
okay, so
Yeah.
that could be a
Right.
potential, there could be a section for,
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, I Christy, do you know, I assume they have Mace's liquor license.
I'm guessing, I haven't been to a licensing meeting in a while, but I'm
So, yeah,
assuming
so
it's
I
just
mean-
transferred.
We'd have to be careful because the temptation would be for people to walk off that licensed, area, but.
Yeah, I think maybe you could do the dish to pass, whatnot, and then just kind of end that, and then they can hopefully just transition up to
Mhm.
there for
If people
drinks,
wanna get drinks or whatever.
whatever else.
When we hosted Sunday sessions, the DJ booth was like in the alleyway part. I
Mhm.
guess the whole thing was sort of all the alleyway. So yeah, if the bar and the DJ setup could be there, and then there could be more like kids and pie potluck in the bar.
Crafts
Mhm.
Okay.
and the tumble, whatever you call it.
Yeah, the tumble toy station.
Okay, well, I think this is a really nice idea. Let's talk about some other stuff too, but it sounds like this is kind of a summertime event, so we certainly have time to dive into details of it if we decide to put some money toward this.
Yeah, and I think the larger picture of my vote on if there's a way to split up the money to do like some of the permanent things we're talking about, some fun events, and then some opening it up for people to suggest other things. I think that sounded like a great plan last time.
Great. Someone want to go next?
Sure. I had a lot, so I don't want to just like read through what I submitted because there's a lot of stuff, but I broadly had ideas in kind of three big categories, like capital improvements, events, and then hybrid in-person and virtual stuff. And I guess I guess I can go through stuff if folks haven't read things, but on the capital improvement side, a lot of the suggestions that I had were about kind of trying to think about what happens if the Commonwealth eliminates the cultural districts program. Like if we don't have more money, like 5 years from now, what do we want to say we've done with the money that has long-term value? So we had talked last time about the potential for upgrading capacity of electrical capacity at the Common. Like if there's,
I'm gonna report out when,
oh, super.
yeah, I get to, when it's my turn.
So that was one thing. The second thing was what was in your idea, which was purchase of a portable PA, one or more portable PA systems that can be utilized at other locations. Purchase of a portable outdoor movie screen if we don't already have one. If
I'll
the
talk
city
about that.
doesn't already have one. And this one I do kind of like purchase a portable or in-ground musical equipment. Like if you've looked into like Harmony Parks and stuff, like on the town common, like, actual, like they sell like outdoor drums and things that are fixed that
We have
could-
those at Newton School. That's our music section.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, which is not in the cultural district.
No.
So, the common seems like a great place, for something like that. If we can't do, and I think we can't do things like, the North Adams pianos are really cool, but bringing that kind of infrastructure that kind of more permanently gives, a reminder of what the cultural options are. Stuff that's like boring, but again, like I was wearing the hat of like, who knows how much we have and for how long. And if we need any like logistical stuff, like a subscription to social media management, planning platform or things that like would facilitate promoting the stuff in the cultural district more than.
I will jump in there for
Yeah.
a second. To the best of my knowledge, we are not allowed to do that.
Oh, okay,
The
great.
city
Like
has
subscriptions.
control of all of those accounts. So unfortunately, we could send them stuff, but we can't control our own social media.
Okay, and same for the digital signage. Like there's not like we can't purchase a subscription to make it easier to program.
I don't
That
think we
stuff,
would
right.
be able to.
Okay. Cross it off the list.
Yeah,
but
sorry.
if you
I
guys want things
really,
posted
really
there,
wish we
just send it
could
to me.
because I don't think, frankly, I don't think the system as it is going to work. Like I don't
Yeah.
think the cultural district is going to be promoted the way it should because there's too much for the comms director to do. I'm not sure how we're going to do that. But although
Yeah,
Christy has access, but she also has too much to do.
yeah.
True.
On the event side of things, so the only other hybrid thing, which is totally like an add-on to like Sarah's idea or something, is some sort of community crossroad or scavenger hunt, like something that again is like, we have this cultural district. It's a district because it has a border around it. It's a physical place. If you're coming to the picnic, walk there, walk to every bee, walk to the boundaries, like something like that. In-person stuff, I don't know what already is planned, but for Green River, where the shuttle bus is, like I remember last year seeing some stuff out during that weekend, but that seems like pretty low-hanging fruit if we wanted to promote again the cultural assets within the district. And then my last thing is exactly what you said last time, Christy, which is just like fund the existing stuff that's planned. Like what's on the calendar that could use like additional funding is it like that's already in the works. That's my stuff.
All right, cool. Christy, did you have some input? I know you have a movie screen. I know that's one thing, but
Yeah, I was just gonna share. I'm sorry I didn't get to send comments ahead of time. I was a little busy. So we do have a portable stage. I don't know if you've seen it, but that's what we use for the fireworks. We set it up.
Okay.
It's like a transformer. It opens
Yeah,
up. But
How cool.
we've only used it on Main Street once because it has special power, and then it's large. It's
Yeah.
like 40 by 40. So you
Oh,
can't
that's
just
huge.
you can't just set it up in random places.
Right.
So we do have that available.
Okay, but that was not for like smaller, like highly agile pop-ups that like it because it's big, right? Is what-
Right, it's what we use. Like, did you come to our movies in the park at all? Like, that's what we show our movies on it.
I don't think I was
yeah.
there then.
oh, you're right.
no,
It is
yeah,
hard.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's big.
It happens at Beacon Field.
I could certainly talk to Suzanne Lamonto. I looked at this, but I didn't have a chance to do any more research really. Suzanne Lamonto, who runs River Culture, to find out, where they got theirs, how much it costs, things like that. Because I do like the idea, like I love the big movies in the park, but the idea of just having a small pop-up at Energy Park or even on the Common or
Right.
Just remember that you have to have licensing. Like, you have to buy your licensing permit to show any movies. So
Right.
there are fees associated.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't just put a DVD in. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Christy, how much do
Um,
you usually have pretty
Green
new movies, but how much do you usually pay for a license?
It depends on who you get the movie through. Like, it varies. It could
Okay.
be 300, it could be 500, it could be 800. Depends on who the movie is.
And it doesn't have to be a commercial
Disney,
movie
Pixar,
per
even
se,
even
right?
like the older movies, like you still have to pay.
Yeah.
Just
But we
the,
could show documentaries, we could show art movies that people have made locally. So there's definitely
I mean, GCTV broadcast, like, look, hey, GCTV has programming. Have you not seen it in your house? Here it is right here. Now go home and watch it.
So they do sell, I'm not sure what River Culture has, Caitlin, but they do sell like the blow up ones.
Yeah,
The
that's
problem
what
is,
they have.
when there's a hole, it's an issue.
Yeah.
So I don't really
Yeah.
recommend that because it's not really long term.
Yeah.
Like before we got this big stage, we had borrowed one from a church and there was a hole and we couldn't figure out where it was. So it was,
Oh, God.
sad. Yes.
Yeah.
And then what did I say? I was going to comment something else on your
Oh, and
list.
GCTV
well,
has
the power on the
Like an
common
outdoor
thing-
portable?
Yeah. So, can I just go, Caitlin?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we talked a lot about, excuse me, the power at the common.
Mhm.
And so I've been in touch with, sorry, one second. With our electricians in the city and then our central maintenance director. And he thinks that, on the building itself out here, there's not enough power in this old city hall to have like a 30 or a 50 twist amp lock for vendors and stuff. However, at the common, in the back of the common, towards the triangle, there's power that we've already talked about extending. And he thinks on there we could put either a 30 or a 50 twist amp for a vendor. And then some additional power, which we've already talked about last time we met at the back of the monument,
Mhm.
where my
Do you
cheer
mean
box
that
was.
the southern end, Christy, that monument, or the monument near the front of the common, near the north end of the common?
We would trench, so the power box is at the south end, and then we would trench towards
Okay.
the monument, but the south side of the monument.
Okay.
And we would have regular outlets there, because that's really what we need. If it's just a DJ or whatnot.
Or food trucks.
A food truck will be further because that's the 30 or 50 twist amp plug that they need.
Right.
So I know that's a lot of details, but so he thinks they have a lot of the parts. So he is thinking, where's my total amount here? I think about $2,000 is what he's thinking. So that, I think
Wow.
that's pretty cheap
That
because
is
they
cheap.
have a lot of parts.
Wow.
And I'll ask him to confirm and finalize, but I think that's doable. Did you find out if we can do capital investment with this money?
We can.
Okay.
Great.
And we can give it to a
Oh.
municipality.
Yeah, I'm gonna double
I
check
mean,
what I
there
had
were,
sent
it
you, but
looked, as what you read last time made it sound like there were no parameters pretty much.
it was pretty wide open.
Because
And-
I,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead, Grace.
I was gonna say, and obviously depending on their schedule, but they think it could happen this spring, which would be great.
Wow.
That would be
Um,
amazing, actually, yeah.
Yeah, and then outside of supporting other events and having people apply, which I like even us, so like we would apply as we've done in the past, although we didn't get to apply for Winter Carnival unless we agree we could send it in the rears.
We being the
Um,
rec department, right?
Yeah, I think it's important to support the creativity of within the district, whether it's a different event or continuing like the Cranky Fest, And then the other thing that we had talked about and I had sent to Susan was the kiosk. Did you send this around, these details as well?
It was in the document.
The three-sided kiosk, if we got, right. This is the two. No, that's two. So if we got two, it's basically 8,600. If we got one, it's 4,700. And the location of that would be the north east corner towards Catalpa for that.
And that's the bulletin board.
That's a three-sided one. Yeah.
Would it be
50.
unlocked?
What
Yeah,
was
we
the
would just
price
have to
for two?
leave it unlocked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
What was-
sorry?
What, did you say there was a price, you had a price for two?
Yeah, if we got two, because Hannah had always talked about putting one
Right.
either down by Lucky Duck or the Pocket Park. It's 86.
Okay.
That's Lucky Duck.
Down by
Near Rite Aid?
across from Main Street.
Ex-Rite
Yeah,
Aid.
down by where Rite Aid used to be. It's the Lucky Duck Tech Repair where AAA used to be.
Okay.
Rubber
Yeah.
duck.
Oh yeah, Rubber Duck. Thank you. I'm saying the wrong name. That's why. It's the Ducky store.
The Ducky
Yeah.
store. And I had can I add a quick thing about the boards?
Yeah.
I looked up kind of a simpler build for one that could be at the top of the Fisk Pocket Park, more in the ballpark. I think it's doable for like $2,000. And Hamshaw Lumber would be interested in sponsoring and potentially helping to build it, which would be cool, but it would be much simpler. I think this three-sided one is so cool. And on the common would be really awesome. And I think the Pocket Park one could be a little bit simpler as a money saver. And
Yeah,
it would
yeah.
be flat.
Do you have a photo?
Yeah, that company probably has other models.
Yeah.
So you could cost out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me
This is all
find-
recycled lumber. It's just like the stuff that we have at the energy park.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Hannah, what
Um,
did you say the price you thought would be again? A couple thousand?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And Christy, one of yours was how much?
47 and change.
Okay.
Yeah, 4706. 47 is close enough.
I do like the idea of those boards too, and we could brand them with some cultural district branding so that, sorry, fruit, fungus gnats in my house. We could brand them with cultural district branding, which would be a nice way to remind people, hey, you're in the cultural district, all this stuff is
Yeah.
happening here,
Nice.
Hannah, did you, since we jumped in onto yours, was that
Sorry.
your that's your baby, right? That's your biggest thing is the bulletin board?
Yeah, it's it goes along with like other ideas kind of for that area, but that's the piece that I was hoping we could fund through the cultural district. And then there are other pieces that would be, I've become, I think I said this last time, a little obsessed with the whole Mile Street campus.
Mhm.
So there are other connected pieces to kind of activating that whole space. But
Well, I
that's the
think it
piece
would
for
be
us.
interesting to see too, with Sarah's concept, some of
Yeah.
the maybe solar Edison light type lighting could be very
Yeah,
cool. And if
absolutely.
that could be something that was semi-permanent, that was up all the time to make the park nice at night, even when that event wasn't going on, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen, I don't know what this would cost for someone else to build it. I think it's relatively easy to build. You can make it's basically like a planter on casters and then you fill it with cement with like a post.
Mhm.
And then it's got enough space in the planter so you can fill that in with flowers and it's got hooks on it. So then like in the winter you can bring it in, store it in somewhere. But then you can move them to whatever location you want and the solar lights hang on them and they could just be
Mm.
sort of reused.
It'd be cool to use them for, in the summer when people put up, when they do sales, to make a shade garden, like an impromptu shade
Mm-hmm.
garden
Yeah.
during our climate-induced apocalypse heat waves. That would be nice.
The hard thing with that is storage, who's
Yeah.
gonna move it,
Yeah.
and then if they get tipped over, because I can tell you during COVID, when we had those blocking the common, they were hard to move. When they fell over, they were hard to pick up. I would rather see
those
some sort
planters.
of
Those were
permanent.
top heavy though. I'm envisioning a much shorter, and those only had dirt. The weight on those planters was at the top. All the
Yeah, the
dirt
wheels
weight
weren't.
was at the top.
Yeah, these would be
Yeah,
just
when-
like they'd be castered straight on the planter and then like the bottom like 4 inches is concrete holding the post. So it's like really
and then
weighted.
dirt.
Right.
They just need to be the good casters.
Yeah,
We
they'd have to
Right.
built like a thing
industrial.
for it.
Now,
Yeah.
in terms of storage, I don't know the answer of what that looks like in terms of what the city has options for, or if
First
there's
National
places, I
Bank.
mean,
Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
Until
put
I'm
them in
hoping
my
the First
garage,
National Bank
I don't
won't be
know, you
storage.
know?
you don't
That's
wanna be
where
responsible.
all of the rolling planters that Deerfield Cabinets and Millwork built are still in the First National Bank. I think they still get used during the summer.
They do,
Yeah.
but with
But
any
then-
luck, maybe at some point we won't have that for storage anymore. So it is,
I know.
so
We'll
it is
figure
something
something
to
else
think
out
about.
gladly.
That's something that maybe I'm just throwing it out there, but I'm on the fair board and the
Yeah.
fair is pretty dormant in the winter. So that's the kind of thing we might be able to find a
Yeah.
little space to store something like that up at the fairgrounds.
But potentially we could put some sort of decorative pole in and just string them. I would rather have that than the
Permanent
permanent.
A permanent
Oh yeah,
pole.
permanent pole.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, then we could have Christmas
I don't know
lights
how much
on
a
it.
pole is.
Like it's not bad to have solar is not as harder in the winter, but is there a light pole near there with a power source?
Well, I didn't realize you said that there's Edison lights along there. I didn't think we had power, so I guess I didn't realize that they were on.
Yeah,
There are
those went up.
lit-
Yeah, MJ, I think was the one. Oh, RIP.
Yeah,
I think she had that, did that.
So there is a light pole at the top of Mile Street. Because that's what we use power for Hannah's lights and
Right. So
ice
potentially
sculpture.
could draw power from that too.
But if it's
You know,
solar,
if
then we don't need to
LED
draw
lights
power.
don't- Well, if we weren't going to have solar, if we wanted to have them in the winter, for instance, potentially, I'm just
Our
throwing it out
solar
as an
string
option.
lights work in the winter for what it's
Yeah.
worth, but
Actually,
we get
yeah, mine work all right. Yeah.
they just can't get buried in snow, the little post, but
Yeah.
but that's those are the types of details. I think the idea is to brighten.
Yes. Yes. We don't have to worry about the
Oh, she
Oh, Rose.
well,
details. All right. So
Oh, there she is.
can you hear me? Oh, did I go away?
You froze.
I'm at home and miraculously we have GSET, but
Don't tell anyone.
potentially not. Okay, so who hasn't talked yet about their ideas? I don't have any ideas. I admit it. I'm just hoping to glom onto everybody else's good. My idea is always a big mural, and that's kind of not right now.
Well, you got two more here, Caitlin. You got Bella
Yeah,
and
I'm
Mike.
sorry, I keep turning my pages over and over.
Bella
Let's
and
see.
Mike.
Sure, I'll go.
Michael, yeah.
I have three I wrote down. One is for the radio station. Radio station is finally getting a decent antenna, so maybe donating some money or doing something for promotion for WMCB, or yeah, something like that, fundraiser or helping out with some. I was thinking about this is obviously in the radio station as well, getting money, but doing something like putting a float together for the Pride Parade and stuff like that could be fun. Another thing is having some interactive art in the common, ideally being all season art. I don't have an official idea about what kind of interactive art that would be, but maybe part of that process could be giving a grant to a local artist to making some kind of interactive art to bring some people down there, make it more of a fun thing. And then my third idea was having that monthly summer series that in the common that had DJs and artist vendors and public performers. Like there was some balloon artists and magician. It was not, was it last 2 summers ago?
Don Moore worked on that. Yeah.
Don Moore?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but
I think it
She-
was last summer.
She runs her dance studio, and like years ago when it was closed, we did stuff on the common too, but we're just tapped out. There's just not enough of us. And so she took it over last summer. She had like themes like balloon stuff. I think she had Jurassic Park stuff and
Yeah, I don't
This
know.
was
They
the
were not,
dinosaur parade.
Mhm.
they were not
Okay.
super well attended, I don't think. So that
I think it
getting
was just because it
to
was
these
just
things
her.
is always half the battle.
well, I was thinking the one that I'm familiar with was 2 years ago. It was mostly a Hawks and Reed thing.
Mm.
Off the common,
Oh, the
Oh,
off
yeah.
common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was awesome. But also,
Yeah.
I think, sorry, can I say something? I know I'm on Zoom, so I
Yeah,
feel
go
very
ahead.
disruptive. I apologize.
No, I
not
know it's
being
hard when some,
able to be
and
over
I'm
there.
sorry I'm not there. I developed being sick during the day, so.
Oh. I just wanted to say really quick because I thought Off the Common was so cool. I thought the stuff that Dawn tried to get going last year was really cool. I would just, if we're going to produce anything, I just ask that we give ourselves a lot of lead time because we keep different entities in the community keep doing things and they're very last minute and they're very hard to promote. And I think there's a vibe in the community, at least in the business community. I don't know as much about attendees, that it's like it's hard to get businesses involved because now they're like, well, it's not going to last or it's not going to get promoted or whatever. So
Right.
I would just let's just really plan, like give ourselves the lead time, give ourselves the plan time, start small. I would just advocate for that.
Well, that could be something that she could apply for to get money to help with promotion or hire people, you know?
Yeah, I think putting out like an RFP for like, we want ideas for events that will bring people to this space. You will manage it. You will give us a plan for how that will happen and we will approve it or whatever would be.
Right, that's how, again, we've done it in the past, is that people would submit projects like Cranky Fest, and in the application, we'd have to say like, who's organizing it, what are the events, what's the budget, who are you gonna hire, so we have an idea that they're really committed to doing it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was kind of based on the local cultural council grant
Mhm.
application process.
Yeah.
I also
Um,
think I know the Common and Court Square are kind of the go-to, but I do think that activating the Fisk Pocket Park, again, I'm biased, I'm obsessed right now, but like it's such a central location and it doesn't get a lot of love. And there's like new businesses around there. There are businesses that need foot traffic. It's a smaller space. And I think like if we were going to put out a call and like, come activate this space with us, give us ideas, that feels very manageable and like very held and could be a good place to start. Whereas for me, having done stuff on Court Square, especially since Hawks and Reed has been closed, it
Yeah.
feels huge.
Yeah.
Like if there are only a
Yep.
few people, you feel like you failed, even if people have fun. And I think Fisk is like, we could like really fill that up and it could feel very successful even with a smaller amount of people and like encourage more.
I agree with that. But it's the same issue as the wide Main Street. It's very hard to make those spaces. The only time I really saw that space full was when Village Pizza had their big party and it was packed. But but
Yeah,
we
I
still,
think that's a good point, Hannah. I think it's like strategically, it seems like the common is a good place for physical investment, capital investment, like, and Fisk is good for event, gathering kind of stuff, and then organically the common, the more like stuff that we have there that is infrastructural, that is not cars, and that's cultural and human scaled, that organically that might change over time.
I would say also just as a gathering place. I mean, that's why I suggested it for the picnic event is you're not right on traffic in quite the same way. Like it is off the
Yeah.
street, but it's not. It's more
Yeah.
pedestrian friendly in some ways that way. And if you've got like kids or whatever, they're not like about to run into the traffic and all of that stuff. And the park is right there for spillover, which is really nice. So I agree. I think that that's a really underutilized area that we could do more with.
and I also think if we are going to do some investment on electrical in the common, maybe next year we could look at trying to have someone organize, a food truck thing, or, where there are things that we can't really do right now there because we
Right.
don't have the power there.
Right.
Caitlin, I'm also, I want to talk to our electricians about what we could do to get more power or just power at the Pocket Park too.
Yeah, that would be
Because
great.
there should have
Isn't
been,
there a
again,
transformer there?
I'll emphasize, I wasn't in these meetings, that's why I need to be in these meetings. Like there should have
I
been
know.
power all the way along that wall
Yeah.
so that we can just plug in whatever we want.
Mhm.
Bella,
So,
we
I
still
wrote that
haven't we still haven't gone over Bella's ideas, so while we still have some
Yeah.
time, Bella, do you want to talk about any of you? Do you have any favorites in your list?
Yeah, I guess Christy maybe was saying this with the whole like the local cultural council, but make it attached to a location, like give us ideas that you're gonna host in Energy Park or the Pocket Park, and then we give you the money to host that.
Mhm.
Yeah, but with a location request seems like a great idea. What are other ones? Oh, we could give operating grants to arts nonprofits in this cultural district. Because those people are already doing the work. Or like give money to various bars or other businesses to host events in their place, also with kind of this idea with like we kind of have a sort of prescription of what you're going to do. Oh, I would love maybe in that like a adult Halloween party. I feel like there are just no every time I host anything adult Halloween, it's so popular because there's clearly not enough going on here for that. Other ideas. Yeah, I'll just say that. Yeah.
Okay. Of those, giving money to for-profit businesses, I think would be questionable. I would not feel good about
Yeah.
that, but
Even if it's like we will give the Dock and Witch money to host
Yes.
karaoke once a month or something.
yes, 100%. It's a bad look. And then you get other businesses saying, well, how come I didn't get money to do that thing? I mean,
Even if it's a
having
request.
businesses being involved in an event that isn't their own event, but for instance, giving money to the Dock and Witch to do something they already do doesn't make sense to me.
Or
Yeah,
what
Sarah?
about requests of like trying to get businesses to buy like to say we will host, but we give the money to the musician. So like let's say you're willing to host a live music event in your bar, and the money can go to paying the musician, so the bar doesn't have to pay the musician, but the bar can be the venue for that.
That still feels like crossing a line to me. I mean,
Okay.
that is up for discussion. I'm not the sole voice on this, but I think we have so many other good ideas that we
Yeah.
don't necessarily need to go in that
Yeah,
direction.
I need a spreadsheet with all the money already, like
Well,
what are all the
that's what I was
ideas
gonna
with how
say.
much it is, and then like rank it, and then how much do we have left over? You know?
Well, for instance, right now, if we got Hannah's kiosk, Christie's kiosk, paid for the electricals, let's say it's 2,000 on the common, gave 2,000 to the Miles Street idea, that's 10,700. So that's where though we could fund all of those things, some of those are
Right.
rough guesses, and then we would want to save some aside for the promotion that we've talked about, which I can't remember Chrissy, do you have any idea, like if we saved 2,000 for promotion?
Yeah, I think it was 2,500. Let me look up. I brought
So
my
let's
folder.
say we did that amount again. Now I have to do math. So that would be 13,200 if I'm adding it right in my head. And we have what, Susan, 16?
16,000.
Yeah. So, and that would give us still a pocket of money that we could decide whether we wanted to, put out some kind of call to artists for one of these things. It could be interactive art. We could look into the musical art like they have up at Mass MoCA,
Mhm.
something like that, or near Mass MoCA, I should say. Or, we've picked Mile Street and we're putting out an RFP who can put on an event, something like that. Christy.
It was 2,500
Okay.
that we did. That was radio and print and online, Facebook.
Paid
social
media?
Well,
Paying?
we'd have
Mhm.
since we don't control our own, we probably were doing boosted posts with that, right?
Yeah,
I
I mean, it was
I
just
think that's-
basically our ad. We can still do that, Caitlin. It
Yeah,
would just
yeah.
be through Susan. Yeah.
Right.
Christian
Okay.
did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we talked about doing more of that, but if we're gonna invest in infrastructure, I don't think that we should increase our marketing.
No,
Um,
I
there's
think
gonna be
that's
less
reasonable
events.
about.
Yeah.
So if people are comfortable with that, we can try, I can try to make that up in a more formal way. And then we can kind of, we need to vote on the expenditures, and it's a little bit squishy right now because we don't have exact numbers for all these things, but we may not have exact numbers. I mean, none of these are exact right now. But it sounds like this is a direction that we might all be happy with. We could also talk about whether the event at Miles Street also has a component for the radio station, or, I'm trying to think about how that could be included too. But
It's already in
it
there.
sounds like a lot of these ideas are really good and really
Already in
doable.
there.
None of them are a really big lift, either financially or our time, which is good.
Can I ask, this is maybe for Christy and Susan, maybe if you know, in terms of the mayor and the city council, are there any like stated expectations for the district? Like, are there any kind of strategic purpose or thing that they are looking to see because we have a cultural district, or no?
It's
Not that
just
I'm
like-
aware of now.
They're very hands off. They're
Yeah.
just,
Just to fulfill that we're doing
Yeah,
cultural things with the cultural district funding.
yeah,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the described area,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
right. And I mean, I think the MCC, the Mass Cultural Council, is probably paying more attention to what, we're doing with the money than the
Mhm.
city is. Um,
Mhm.
and,
You-
I'm sure the city would be happy for us to pay for some infrastructure upgrades, for instance.
Yeah,
It would be really cool if there's a little money left over, like Bella was saying, to offer for some calls for artists. I mean, just throwing this out while we're in the brainstorming phase, but even for people to like, maybe if you can't do things within existing businesses, maybe it's like, is there a space that's not outside, or is the outside space we only have access to for hosting stuff within the cultural district that we have control over? Like, is there any indoor spaces that we're allowed to host
So
things at?
we ourselves don't have
Don't have access
any
to that.
particular access, no.
But some,
I mean, the
But I think-
library is in the district, so
Mhm.
potentially something
Mhm.
could happen in the
Library.
public rooms in the library, or the co-op where I work. We have a community room that anybody can
Yeah.
use. So there are spaces that are accessible, but they're not our spaces per se.
I was just thinking about the success at Bee Fest of the decorating of the bee boxes. Everyone loved that. And like every time I've gone, like just having outdoor painting, like where it's just like set up and people can come and just paint. And so I was like, maybe there's between art space and all the different other groups, like some sort of outdoor public
We could have a chalk art festival.
art event. Yeah, where it's like, you know, they set up mask making, I don't know what, something painting, whatever, where the materials are just set up. There's someone who knows kind of what they're doing that's not teaching a class, but just sort of demonstrating.
Right.
And then people can kind of join as they're walking by and make something or not. But I know there's some really incredible mask makers in the area. Like I've seen at protests and also during Halloween, some incredible mask artists. So it just came to mind. With a Halloween theme, I was thinking maybe like a
Caitlin, I thought you
mask
said, we'll just say that $11,000 roughly with the ideas that we just went through. I think you said 10,700. So
10,700 plus if we save for the marketing, it's 13. Like basically we would have $2,800 left over with the projects we just identified prices for and the marketing money taken out.
right, so we could do a call like we've done in the past and only use 2,500. That's what we would have for a small event that's happening at the energy park or something random that somebody suggests. And we could say like, these are things that are of interest to us, like paper mask making and or bee box painting or whatever, and see what people turn in. And that way, like, that's what I like about this grant because it gives other people opportunity to feel involved and get money.
Yeah.
Like the local cultural council can't give everything out. We can't give everything out, but there are things that you can do for $200 to $500 that we just don't have the capacity for.
Right.
I'm also happy to help however I can contribute with PR and outreach for the event. I know the director of NEPM, and we also have a pretty good working relationship with like Monte Del Monte and stuff like that. So like earned media, like I think we could get, it's such a small space. I don't think you need too much promotion, honestly, beyond the local, because we wouldn't want too many people showing up. Honestly, I don't know how many families you could fit on the lawn there. What do you think? Like,
There's a couple hundred.
Oh,
yeah,
for the-
I was
you mean
thinking,
for
I was
the-
thinking 100 max. But
For the
I don't know.
Fisk Avenue thing? Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So,
But I
you
mean,
know.
but yeah, in terms of granting that extra money, I mean, I wouldn't split it up too much. That money, I would split that into maybe one or two pieces, you know, maybe just one.
Depending
because I
on
think-
what they apply for.
I mean, the other thing
No,
to
but I think
remember,
that's the beauty of it is the cultural district, cultural council tends to give small, you know, small bits, and so that you have to get a bit here, a bit there, a bit here to make your thing. Whereas if we give this money to one person or two or organizations that have an idea, they can do a real thing with this. You know, it's enough money to
Potentially.
Like 2,500 bucks.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
not
or
a
it's
massive thing, but-
$500. Like, you don't need more than $500 to make masks, you know?
gold leaf mask.
Yeah, I make projects all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's such like the infrastructure's there, where it's like the electrical's already there, all this stuff. Like, I think that's the great thing about the capital investments is that it does set it up for the future. You can say,
Right.
you already have this space, you have these parameters for you to be able to use. We have a screen, we have this, we have that, come up with your idea, and you can use those things as needed.
I think Hannah has her hand up, Caitlin. You probably can't
Hannah,
see.
sorry, you're so tiny on my screen.
No, it's totally fine. I hate when I can't be somewhere in person, so I appreciate everyone bearing with me. I was just gonna say, one thing that was really successful for us this year, once I kind of cracked the code on it, was window painting downtown.
So cute.
And I have multiple artists who are interested in that. And the piece of it that I couldn't pull off this year, but that I did pull off when I was working down in Amherst, was having there be like a artist-led community window painting component. So rather than having all the windows professionally painted, which is what we did this year, because I just like really wanted to get it done, you can have paint donated, and then people can go out and paint windows. It's all exterior painting, so it's like they don't have to go into business. You don't have to have someone's kid running around with a paintbrush or anything. And I think so we paid the window artist over the holidays 3 grand and she did 45 windows. She actually did a couple extra because she's really nice. And the goodwill from the community still, like people are still contacting us saying how great it is. And I would love there to be window painting around Bee Fest or Pride or like other times of year. So I'm just thinking about like if we decide to go a sort of call for artists route, window painting is always wildly popular, and the GBA would be very happy to help anyone sort of get in touch with businesses or make that happen if that was something that we wanted to put money towards. But it livens everything up.
Well,
Thank
you should apply.
Huh?
You should apply.
Well,
to,
and I
I would
think
to Caitlin's point, I would apply if it was a reasonable amount of money, for sure. Like
Yeah.
I agree that like $2,500 towards something, whether it's like a series of outdoor art classes, window painting, whatever, is like so much better than starting to chop it up into small things.
Mhm.
Please don't make me read 80 grants. I'll cry.
And I do think, I don't remember who said it, but having it not be wide open, the cultural council, that
Right.
grant application is wide open. But if we narrow it down to, like, we want events in this place, or we want a series of workshops to do this, or whatever it is, but it's just something to limit it so that I think the people who are serious about it probably think they have a better shot of getting it, and we might get more focused ideas than just kind of like I was on the cultural council, and the breadth of things that you get is incredible, but it's not necessarily things that we really like. We kind of know a lot of the things that we want in the district. So I think it makes sense to shape it a little before we put it out to the public. We are at 3:53. So
Can I say one more thing?
yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, I just want to say one thing on that note, and also I can't remember if it was Sarah or Bella who said this earlier about, or maybe Tess, sorry, about how there are already organizations who are doing the thing, and so we can sort of help it happen more. I wonder if I feel like a lot of our organizations like Art Space and Looky Here and GCTV, like they're already connected with
Mhm.
pools of artists, and I wonder if we went to some of them and said, hey, we want to put out a call for a series of classes in Fifth Pocket Park. Like, if we dispersed funds to you and it was like the Looky Here art class series, outdoor art class series, would they be down to orchestrate that and get people popping off, and like so that we're able to keep the money intact, but we're also able to hand some of the work to an organization that has some of that already rolling?
Absolutely. And there's Art Space, there's Lava, there
So
are a few
many.
places that we could ask. And I think that's a great opportunity for co-branding, and it's a great opportunity for them to get people who don't necessarily know them, especially if they can do it, maybe not on their premises, but out somewhere in the world. So we have a few, yeah, Christy.
So I'm just gonna reel us all back in, which is probably what you were doing, Caitlin, talking about
Yeah.
timeline.
Yeah.
So like, that means that next month, I don't know do we already have a date?
We
picked?
don't.
I feel like we should have everything finalized and review the application that we want to submit to or send out to the world to apply. Is that what you're thinking, Caitlin?
Yeah, I'm thinking we have
So
a
that they can-
spreadsheet that has the things that we talked about today and the amounts of money that we think that we're going to need for those things. And then we're going to, if it is as we decided, and we have a little bit more than 2,800 because it's 16,000 plus, what we're looking for. I mean, I think it's still going to need a little bit of discussion, and it's hard because we can't discuss outside this meeting. But maybe everyone could bring, or send to Susan to see ahead of time one thing that they would put out as a grant suggestion. What would be their idea for,
You mean
know,
like for the parameters of a grant?
Like what we want?
yes.
Like what would the
like
call,
like
the
what we're saying.
solicitation be?
I want to do
Okay.
an event at Miles Street. I think we should do a mask making workshop that's, whatever it is, because we are going to need to narrow it down, or we're going to just pick very broadly what it is we're trying to do. And like Hannah said, we
Right.
ask Wiki here, we ask Art Space, and are we going to divide it? Is it one or two pockets of money? Like, I feel like it could be maybe two pockets of money. Yeah,
Can I
Sarah?
ask two quick questions? One, how much more information do you need pricing out the current ideas we submitted? So I had did some very quick estimates, but I could provide an actual itemized
If you
estimate,
could
like you
do that,
had exact comps and stuff.
yeah, I mean, if you the closer you can get to what it would really cost, and maybe a list of all your ideas of the things, the components,
Yeah,
that
the
would be
cost.
super,
Yeah.
that'd be super helpful.
Okay, I can get that together. And then the second question, what was the time frame in which this money has to be spent?
It has to be spent by
encumbered by
June 30th.
30th.
Okay.
So that,
The event has to be before June 30th,
No,
or if we
no,
granted the money to Art Space could have a year to put on the event.
We just have to know what the idea is and it has
Okay.
to be solidified
Okay.
by that date.
In the past, we
Yeah.
had everything done by like September, October. So it's
Yeah,
still this
it's not a
year.
year. There is a
Yeah.
time frame, but essentially all the warm months.
Can I ask one more question? Could someone just to go back a little bit? Could someone remind me? So Green River Festival weekend, or is there anything else going on in town, like downtown that, is this committee supporting anything else in the cultural district downtown?
I
It
don't
just
know.
seems like a lot, like really low hanging fruit when there's like a lot of out of towners coming on a
Although
shuttle
funny
bus
enough,
being
I have
picked up.
heard from businesses, it's a terrible time for them. Absolutely
I'm
horrible.
gonna jump in there and say
Alright.
that this was actually the first year that we got positive feedback from
Oh, really?
businesses. And it's because my former intern and I put up 40 posters with QR
Oh,
codes
right.
at the fairgrounds with the Visit Greenfield MA
Yeah.
website. It was the first year that any business was like, people came in from the festival. And
Yeah.
that, I know,
You
Tess,
just don't know
this is,
something's going on
this
here.
isn't exactly,
Yeah,
sorry, Tess, I know this isn't exactly what you're asking, but from the business standpoint, we are continuing to try and encourage businesses to get excited, to tell
Right.
people so that there's that. But there hasn't been like a downtown
Like a thing.
activation component for a
Right.
while. Hawks and Reed used to do a Thursday night pre-show. And since then,
And
Since
and
then,
a
I don't
couple of
think there's
years,
been-
actually, we had
Was at the
we
Energy
had a
Park.
concert in Energy Park
yes.
the night before. But I will say this in general, people are there to get the bus.
Yeah.
So they're not there to necessarily do, something else there unless it's like a 5-10 minute thing. Because
Yeah.
those buses, they go fast.
And I think one of the challenges in the past, though, we're trying to build a better not a better relationship. We're trying to build a relationship with the new producer. But in the past,
Yeah.
there was a little bit of territorialism where like the producers actually didn't want people to come downtown because they wanted people to
They want people to
Spend their
spend
money
all
on
of their
site, yeah.
spending power there. But DSP so far has been a little more responsive. And so
Yeah.
we're trying to like build a better rapport. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I think that makes really good sense. And I think, Caitlin, I'm not suggesting cannibalizing those people while they're waiting for a bus, but it
Oh,
is
no, I
an
don't mean-
opportunity for that sort of like long-term, more like putting the bee in your bonnet of like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
Greenfield isn't this like dead wasteland. Look at that. I came downtown to catch a bus and there's a table with information and we have a cultural district
Oh,
and here's
yeah,
a map and here's all
absolutely.
this stuff. And
It could
yeah,
be
so
buskers. There could
it's-
be buskers playing
Exactly.
music
So-
because that's,
we're working
I
on
know we're
that
almost
too.
at time, but for next time, maybe, and I'll do this research on my own too, but I think it is important just to make sure that there's no municipal barriers to cultural and artistic stuff. Like, can we like suggest, promote people getting like busking licenses? Or because I know when I was in Northampton, there was
anybody can busk. There is
Anybody.
no license
so like even
required,
like the
and
cultural
anybody can do
district
it.
promoting that I think is important, like saying like you can set up an easel and do plein air painting anywhere within this boundary, like that's like a helpful thing for a
Let's
committee
talk,
like this
we're
to
already
do.
1 minute past, but let's talk about that next time because I do think that that's the kind of thing we could do with very little effort.
Yeah.
People would want to do it. It wouldn't even necessarily cost money.
Right.
It could just be organization
Yeah.
with some of our promotion money,
The
So
GBA
we are-
is also working on a plan for that, and I would love to talk more about that with this committee.
who is?
The GBA.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Excuse me.
my awesome
Just do
intern,
that
Zach.
On the comp in Court Square. What's that?
All right.
They could just
Susan,
paint
since
on
we're
our
already
Court
at
Square and the
4:01,
bus
can we
picks up.
do a
Okay.
dreaded doodle for the next meeting
That's you.
time? Because the next meeting time is on a holiday, right? Or no, it's not a holiday.
No, it would be Thursday, March 12th.
But someone had a problem with this time, is that right?
Just Christy may have to cover after school.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, let's keep it the date it should be, and then we'll just
Okay.
have to hope for the best.
So Thursday, March 12th, I will send you guys
Okay, thank you.
It's
Yes,
3
and
to
any
4.
details people can send in furtherance of their idea, just so we can make a, a little more solid budget. That would be great. And Tess, if you have, we can definitely share thoughts, not amongst each others, but next time about something. We have until the middle of June for Green River Fest. So I know the time goes fast when you're only meeting once a month. Okay, it's 4:02. So I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting. I wish we could
Motion
talk.
to adjourn.
Second?
Christy.
Okay, here we go. Roll call. Aye. Sarah?
Aye.
Tess?
Aye.
Christy?
Yes.
Michael?
Aye.
Bella? Hannah?
Hi.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.